Hey guys, it's December 7th, 2022, and I'm Kimberly from Fat Quarter Shop, and super excited about today's live stream and next week's live stream because we're going to end the year with a ton of stuff that's going to be coming up in 2023. So I'm going to start off with our brand new It's So Emma Club, and we're going to welcome the year with open arms and buckets full of seasonal goodies. The Stackables cross-stitch pattern series will fill your days with beautiful pieces celebrating each month, anchored with rustic wooden bucket for added decor. So I wanted to let you know that on this club, the basket stays the same on all of the pieces. So once you get the first one, if you want to get ahead, you could stitch that basket for all 12. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the club, and then I'll tell you a little bit about the pattern. So with the club, what you'll get is you will get the cross stitch pattern every month, and it's a nice, really big pattern. I'm going to kind of tease the stitches so you can see the stitches really well because it goes over the width of this. And on the back, we list Classic Colorworks and DMC, but in the club, you get the pattern and the floss for the month. So each month there's either 9 or 10 different Classic Colorworks. They will all be Classic Colorworks. And so that is the club. The club is the pattern and the floss. And you're going to get that around the 3rd of each month, and you get the pattern 10 days before we release it to everyone else. So you'll get this at the beginning of each month, January through December. And I'm going to tell you the themes. So January is wintry, obviously. February is a love theme. I can tease the floss. March will be a spring theme. April will be Easter. May will be floral. June will be beach. And July will be picnic. And then we'll tell you the rest later in the year. So we're still designing them. Now on all of these, the stitch count is going to be around 51 wide by 167 tall. And with 14 count, that comes to 3 3/4 by 12. And so when you're starting this with 14 count, you'll want to cut your fabric to like 10 by 18. And we're stitching this. Now the fabric does not come in the club because we know a lot of you want to switch the fabric around. Our model was stitched on marbled white pine board 14 count by Fabric Flair. So it's a big piece, and you would cut it in half and you would get like January, February. So you would need 6 of these packages, and you'll have a little bit left over, just a tiny bit left over at the bottom, but not too much because it's a nice long pattern. So marbled white pine board. We did get a question on what is an equivalent 28 count. So the equivalent would be 28 count marbled white pine board. It's out of stock, but we hope to have it in stock next week. And of course you could stitch this on any of the Fabric Flair boards. You could also stitch this on just a plain white. But I did want to talk about each month it will have Classic Colorworks. But I wanted to let you know that we had this stitched in Classic Colorworks, not DMC. And this is Cheryl's piece. So on Cheryl's piece, she added magnets and washers. Each month this is going to be a grunge quilting fabric. So on the back, we will tell you what fabric we finished our grunge in. So this is 30150-418. And we're going to have a tutorial on the blog later in January showing what size to cut each of the pieces so you can follow that each month. And we had, in Austin, we had a local person make these boards. And Priscilla put together the bow. And so you can interchange the bow each month. So we'll have a tutorial on the blog on this. Priscilla will make the bow each time. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the paddle. So it's made locally, so it's going to only be available here. And what we did is we made the paddle custom for the Stackables program. It comes and it is white. It's called Soft White Wooden Paddleboard, and it's going to arrive at the end of December. So he's made all of the boards, he's just painting them. And it's meant to be rustic, so it's not like a perfect paint job, but it's like a whitewash type. Now, I did want to tell you, so you only need one of these. So Cheryl is going to use one because hers is going to be, you know, magnets replaced. What I'm going to do on mine is I'm going to buy 12 paddles, and then I'm going to put each one on here hot glued and hot glued this down. And that's because I'll need 12 separate ones for the different models. And so each time we're going to pick a grunge that matches. So that will always be listed on the pattern. And again, DMC and Classic Colorworks will always be listed. And for the club, we are only going to make the club for a certain amount because we're limited on the amount of floss. So just so you know, on the Stitching with the Seasons, we've only got 19 spots left. So this one, obviously we're starting it later in the year, so we'll probably have spots for a while. But once our spots sell for the pattern and the floss, we're not going to have floss packs separately on the site or DMC floss packs on the site. We're just going to have it right here. So the paddle board is 5.5 by 17, and then the mountable space is 5.5 by 13 3/4. And this, you can put a click to notify when it arrives, and you can decide if you want one. I'm sure most people are just gonna have one. I'm just gonna do 12 because I need it for live stream. The patterns will be available separately 10 days after the club ships on paper. All of the PDFs will deliver a year later, January 2024. And the reason we're doing that is that's just kind of how we do our PDF club, our clubs that are exclusive. And then it is in color. That is the question. So the pattern is in color, and it's definitely beginner friendly. And anything, I think anything by Itsuoma or Lori Holt is definitely beginner friendly. And Primrose Cottage Stitchery is also very beginner friendly. So if you have any questions on Stackables, let me know. But just so you know, all of the patterns we write, we give the stitch count, the finish size, the cloth we used on the sample, the threads, and exactly how we finished it. Now, I don't know. I know some of you are going to ask, does Hobby Lobby have a board similar to this? I have no idea. Brittany designed this to where basically our goal was to get the best possible design we could using several months and then build a board to match rather than go find a board and then make our design match. The bows will not be available to buy separately, but she probably will use her one of her or Chelsea's quilting fabrics as a covered button, and then she'll probably start using some of her ribbons that is theirs, but we won't have the bows for sale. So that is Stackables. I'm super excited about it. I just think it's going to be really fun, and a lot of the colors we picked are very trendy colors. It's not going to be modern. It's going to be very fat quarter shop-ish. But we tried to use some colors that aren't typically used, if that makes sense. So like these blues, cool azul, cloud, lunar eclipse, and summer sky. Those are not used that much, but look how beautiful it is. So Cheryl and Denise picked all of the colors for this club. And I did want to let you know on the bucket, it's German chocolate, brandied pears, and caterpillar. and that will stay the same. But in the club, you're going to get a skein of each for each month. So the paddleboard has not come in stock yet. So the paddleboard is not in stock until 2 weeks. He's still painting the boards. So this is just a prototype that he made. He made 1 or 2 for us so that we would have them. And we could maybe make a fat quarter pack of the grunge fabrics for the year, but I don't know if that would work because I don't know if it's long enough. Let me see. Yeah, we could, but we have not finished designing all of the designs. So it'll have to be, if we did that, it'd have to be later in the year because we are still, because what we do is Brittany draws everything and then Sarah charts it and then we pick the colors and then we move to February. Same thing, design, pick the colors, then we move to the next one so that it, you know, we don't just like throw it together, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So that is Stackables, super exciting. I'm gonna leave this here for a second just to show you January must be the month of blue. So this is gonna be Barn Sweet Barn 2023. So in 2022, we started this and it was so successful. So we thought we would do something fun. So this one isn't a club. What this is a PDF pattern. Let me I'm gonna show you how detailed it is. And we went ahead and did everything for the entire year. So you won't have to wait for the blog post for the colors because that was one thing that y'all didn't like from 2022. So rather than release colors each month, you have all the colors when you buy the pattern up front. And so I'm going to explain the pattern. This is PDF only. And then I will talk about like the fabric, the floss, the finishing, all of that. So just so you can see, it's a full color pattern. And when you print the PDF, there will be 14 designs. And at the top, it says the month. So just kind of gonna show you. So you get, instead of having to figure out light, dark, and white each month, we give you the chart with the colors so that you can just print the page you want for that month. And then you don't have to write a bunch of notes. So there's 14 designs. Now the reason we did that is we did 12 for the month. So, you know, red for February, that kind of thing. And all the colors are listed on the bottom. And each star has 1 dark, 1 light, and 1 white. So you can keep that in mind. And we did 14 colors because taking into consideration customer feedback from 2022 is, what if we did orange for October, but you don't like orange? We have 2 bonus colors. So you can take it, print it out, look at the colors, and decide what you want to do so that you can have 12 that you like, or you can do all 14. What I will be doing each month is along with Cheryl, we're going to do, this is Cheryl's piece, and this is my piece. We're going to do that, plus we're going to also do the bonus, and the bonuses we're going to stitch like in April and June so they come out earlier so that you can see those throughout the year. So it is a PDF pattern only available at Fat Quarter Shop. And now I'll talk about the coloring. So we did a thread pack, and I'm gonna let Jordan zoom in so I don't mess up the thread pack. So obviously you can see we've got a blue star, purple, we have kind of a brown, green, orange, yellow, pink, green. So there's lots of options, but if you're going to make all 12 or all 14, we have a thread pack. And in the thread pack, Denise did this great design where we list the colors for you. And also on the back. So you can, when you pull it out, you could divide easily, okay, January, February. And there's 4 skeins of white. And the reason why is you use that same white throughout. So we have the PDF pattern and the thread pack. I love this one. It's going to be so fun. So now I'm going to talk about the finishing and what we did. So me and Cheryl both stitched on white 25 count Lugana, and we ordered in a piece that's 36 by 55. The SKU number is 3835-1. And if you buy that 1 yard piece, you can get 12 stars out of it if you're using a 3-inch border. But if you're going to do all 14, you will need obviously more than that. The 1 yard piece will just do 12. And we recommend using a 3-inch border. So you would cut your cloth, if you buy that 1 yard piece, into 12 pieces that are 11 3/4 inch square. Can you get a PDF of all the colors for Barn Sweet Barn? They are in the PDF. So you buy the PDF. Oh, 2022. 2022 is on the blog. Jolly Jabber blog. It is all on the blog. The stitch count is 71 by 71. So using the 25 count, it comes out 5 3/4, and the PDF includes the coloring for every month. And we did that just based on our feedback for 2022. And we also took feedback from 2022 to give you 2 coloring options. So that thread pack includes all the skeins for 14 colorways. So that you have your option of which ones you want to do. So for finishing, Cheryl stitched this one, and I stitched this one. And I think it's interesting because if you look, her stitching is so much lighter than mine. And so me and Cheryl just think that's crazy. But I want to talk a little bit about my finishing and Cheryl's finishing. So my finishing, I decided I'm going to, just because we always want to show you something different. So each month I'm going to show you Cheryl's and mine. And I stitched mine and just took it to a framer. And I asked them to leave a 1-inch margin around. And then I did, when I went to the framer, I considered all the colors we're using and came up with this frame. I basically took the floss, looked at the frame, and tried to make sure I got a gray that was going to fit the style of all the colors. So, you know, I didn't want to get too light, too dark. So I kind of felt like this really fit well, even with the purples. And I am going to stitch the purple, even though I don't like purple. And I'm going to stitch the green, even though I don't like green. But I'm going to do it just for you guys. So just consider, if you're going to frame it, try to think of something that will, can I have a ruler real quick? Of a color that will accommodate the ones that you pick, if that makes sense. And I'm just going to see how wide it is. So it's like 6.5. And so, you know, I stitched this months ago, but I remember Denise and I, we were thinking, could we find a frame like at Home Goods that was very inexpensive? And we couldn't, this size, because that's what I was thinking. I was thinking an 8-inch, but see how big? We were thinking an 8-inch might work, but it's just too big, I think. So mine is just a simple frame, and that's how I'm going to finish mine each month. I will show mine stitched. And I think 1 star looks lighter because when Cheryl stitches, she pulls her stitches tighter. And when I stitched, I used a thread conditioner. But I think in general, when I compare, it's just the stitching. She pulls really tight. She uses a hoop. I stitch in hand, and I just don't pull as tight. And every design is the same exact star, just with different colors. Okay, so that's my finishing, super easy. And the second finishing, we got samples of this last year from Nerge, and that's a company in the UK. And I thought, you know, this would be perfect. So it's a weird size because, you know, in the UK they use the other decimal system, metric. So it's 6.29 inches because they do everything in meters. So this hoop, you would need 12 of them. The SKU is 79813. And so what Denise did is, this is the hoop. It just is natural wood. You could leave it natural and it would look like this. So what Denise did is last year with this Barn Sweet Barn, when she stained the Chantel piece from 141 Design, she used this, let's see, classic gray B4512 Bear paint. And we just got this from Home Depot or Lowe's, one of those. But we already had this, so we used that same exact frame. Same exact wood stain, sorry. And on Monday, we released a video on how to do this. So just go back to our channel. The video is called Frame Cross Stitch in a Hoop, Barn Sweet Barn Finishing. And on the back, this is just Kimberly white felt, and it's the only felt we have. But you can use any felt. You could even put blue. You could put blue to match. You can do whatever. Just or you could get a cheaper felt than this, like at Joann's or something. But we show you how to finish the back, and this would be an affordable way to finish. Of course, you could also stitch the design, and if you wanted something a little bit less expensive, go and see if you can find one in your store. But this is a pretty low, I mean, it's really good quality for the price you pay. So I'm going to stitch along and show you my progress the beginning of each month, and so is Cheryl. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how I am storing my floss. And just so you know, my idea for this is I think all 14 are going to look great together on a wall. So I'm going to get all of mine framed and then put them like on a wall, scattered. I'm going to do it kind of piecemeal, where they're all kind of random, and it's going to look really good. I'm going to try to find a wall in my house to do it, and Kevin's going to kill me, but that is my plan for mine. And of course, once I do it, I will let you know, but I have only stitched January. And you could find any kind of piece you want at Hobby Lobby. I'm sure some of you guys will finish it totally different than me. So you could finish it with magnets and find like just a wood piece that's 8x8, put it on top of fabric. I mean, you can totally have fun and do whatever you're thinking for finishing on this. But I did want to show you kind of how I'm keeping mine together, because it is like a lot. Because when we started doing this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so many things, and I need to stay organized for the year. So I took the this really big denim bag, and in here, I put, Denise cut all of my 14 pieces, well 13 now. So this bag is gonna have all my pieces, and then all my thread for the entire year is in here. And then what I'll do is show you how I'm gonna do the floss each month, because it's gonna make it a lot easier where I don't have to, I'm not gonna color, put them on the card yet. I'm gonna show you why. So here, this is February, because I'm supposed to start February. So I've got February. Just ignore that mess of, this is probably me late at night trying to card. But I decided that this little floss keeper right here, it's only got 6 holes. So what I did is I wrote light, dark, white, because that way all I have to think is light, dark, white. I'm not going to change it out and, you know, put color 3827 is light and color 729 is dark. To me, that is just too much work. So I'm going to each month, and what I did, like these are my little smaller ones that I pull from, if that makes sense. And then in here, I'm just going to put like February in here when it's time for February, but then leave all the others in here. One thing I did do though And this is a great idea. Just find something you already have and just put dark, light, medium. And then if you want to save the ends of it, then you can put it and number it later if you want. But this, and then this is a great way where they're not gonna go all over my bag and be a mess. But on this one, I went ahead and did a book and put barn, and I filled out already January through the bonus. The bonuses are at the end. And then I'll fill out the rest of the book maybe with Barn Sweet Barn 2024. So that's how I'm going to keep it all organized. Because, you know, in June I'm going to forget. And so in June I want to be able to, like, right now I'm obviously organized, but in June I still want to be organized. The Stackables is stitched on 14 count. For the Barn Star, I have been using some new needles. I'll actually talk about that now since we just got that question. So I found some needles. Now I'm going to tell you the pros and the cons. I'm going to be totally honest and tell you, I don't think there's ever going to be another Pat Carson needle that's as good as Pat Carson's needle. They were wonderful. They were great. I loved them, but I wanted to find something that I could use once those, you know, my stash is gone. So I have tried about probably 8 brands, and customers email suggestions, and I've just been buying them. And if I like them, I'll buy them for the store. But I loved these. Now they're very low priced. I mean, they're super inexpensive. So I'm loving the size 26. What I love is I can thread the needle without shredding my thread, and it goes right in the hole. So I'm loving these. The downfall is they bend really quickly. So they are not going to last through like 3 projects like Pat Carson would. They're probably going to last 1 project. So you're paying for what you get, but I love them. For the price, they're great. I'm using size 26. And that bag is in my shop. It's called Denim Daisy Bag. It's designed by Lori Holt. And the Stackables will be available in PDF January 2024. Now, the other downside is they don't make a size 28 needle. So Cheryl only uses a size 28 needle, but they don't have a size 28. They just have size 26 and then size 18, 24. So this would be used for like Lori's 10 count. And then this one is what I've been using on everything lately. And 25 count is 2 stitches over 1. The hoops I'm going to keep in stock all year. Now I ordered those from the UK, and so those will come in as we order. Right now we have plenty in stock. Denise will check inventory at the end of the day, and then if we need, we're just going to keep those on order. And Jack B's asked, do I think this would look good as one piece? I think it would be overwhelming as one piece, but if you did it, I think it would be too overwhelming and too much white space between the stars. And then on the 28 count, you would use the same exact measurements I gave earlier for the 14 count, and you would still need 6 packages. So these are my new needles that I recommend. So, you know, just buy 1 pack. Don't buy 20. Just see if you like them. You might like them, you might not. I just have found that for me, these go in the hole really nice. And my biggest complaint on a lot of the needles is when I thread them, it shreds my thread. And of course, nobody likes that. No offense, but wondering what you do that bends the needle. Oh, I'll show you. Let me see just a random. Oh, let me see that one. A random bag. A random needle. So these are the needles. I'll see if one of them's bent. Oh, okay. This one. This is Pat Carson, and this is the new one. It's not bent yet. So when I stitch, I do like that. I mean, like this. And it just, like, over time, just the movement of that bends, and yeah. I stitch in hoop. Would the needle bend as quickly? No. If you don't do the sewing method, I don't think it would bend as much. But because If you use the hoop and you stick and stab, I think it would be fine. I just always like to give like positives, negatives, and just be upfront about stuff. But this is what I'm using. I hope you guys like it. I've been looking for a needle for this entire time. So this is going to be my choice. Bowen, I also think is great. It is a higher quality. The problem I was having with Bowen is they're so sharp that I was getting in the back of my thumb and this index finger, I was getting poked too much and I started bleeding. So I had to stop using the Bowen, but the Bowen lasts longer. Okay, so that is Stackables and Barn Star Sampler. Barn Sweet Barn, sorry. Now I'm going to show you Winter Patchwork Seasons. So this is our final year of releasing Patchwork Seasons. We did this for 2 years. So we have 8 total designs. And so last year we were like a seasonal motif, and then this year we did a seasonal motif plus the text for the season, and you can either do that or take it off. It's only available as a low price PDF, and last year we colored everything in NPI and DMC. This year we colored in Aurifloss and DMC. Priscilla finished the piece, and all the information she finished it with is on our pattern, and she used Chelsea's checks for the inner and Priscilla's plaids for the outside. And for any of Priscilla and Chelsea's Henry glass fabrics have just come back in stock this Monday. So if you're looking for a certain color, I would grab it before it sells out again, because we got a partial shipment. Cheryl's favorite needle is Edmar. That's her new one. She's using Edmar size 28. We may or may not have those in stock because those are a little bit harder for us to stock. When I used it, I just didn't love it, but she didn't love the needles I like. So it's all personal preference. Now with this we have the DMC thread pack, and we have the Aurifloss thread pack. And I personally think this would look so awesome if you did this also in the Barn Sweet Barn colors. So this obviously has more colors to it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But you could use like some of this in here and just do it 2 color. There's a way to do that. So that's just an option if you're ever looking to, when you're done with a project, if you want to have leftover, always think about how you can use leftover floss for this, so you don't have to like just keep buying floss over and over and over if you don't want to. Terry stitched this piece, and she used a white opalescent 14 count Ada by Zweigart, and the SKU number is 3706-11, and it's out of stock, but we ordered it already and it will be in stock in 2 weeks. So 3706-11, and I want to kind of show you the opalescent. There, you can really see it. Like in person, you can really see it good. It's kind of like a glitter. It didn't come off on our hands or anything, but it is going to be kind of a stiffer fabric just because of the glitter type stuff. So when I saw this, I thought, oh my gosh, I have to show last year's Patchwork Seasons. So last year's Patchwork Seasons was called Evergreen. So this is the pattern. And last year, this is what I did. So all of my floss changes are on the Jolly Jabber blog. I changed my NPI colors. We'll link to that blog in our description box. And when I saw this, I just was like, oh, that's totally not Kimberly's colors for my house. So I just picked, let's see, there's 8 colors. I picked 8 pinks, whites, and reds, stitched it on top of a white petty point on gray 18 count. And this is a great example of stitching 1 strand over 1 square. So 18 count was really hard for me. let's zoom in and see how tight those stitches are. But what I love about it when it's done is you can see the polka dots through the stitches, and I think that looks so good. But you know, stitching on 18 count, definitely not my favorite, but this is so cute. And this year when I was decorating, I had like no spots for things. And so I thought, oh my gosh, this would look so cute in the bathroom. So now I have like cross stitches moved into the bathroom. So, because I'm like out of space, but it looks really good in my bathroom. So I saw that this morning and was like, oh my gosh, I have to bring that to show. So that is that. And we put the library card so I can remember what I did. And then I was going to show these. I've already shown them twice, but Lori asked for me to show them one more time. So this is Stitch Card O's, and we're going to mail these to her today to turn them into pillows and to show on her FlossTube. So these are stitched on 25 count Prim Lugana. And if you sign up for the Bee in My Bonnet Stitch Card Club to get the pattern, it is going to be shipping out next week. And then just as a tease, we are going to be doing a stitch along using a combination of all of the stitch cards she's done through set O. So if you have been collecting those in the club, it's going to be great because you'll already have all the patterns you need. And the 14 count opalescent, we only have in that one size right now. It doesn't sell well enough for us to do a bigger piece yet. So we're going to mail these to Lori today. And I did want to tease, now that was a ton of stuff, but we still have other new stuff. So I'm going to hint what we're going to talk about next week. So next week's FlossTube, I'm going to talk about our new temperature cross stitch. I'm going to go in detail. It is a PDF. It has a ton of detail. So I'm going to hold this for next week because I feel like it's too overwhelming for this week. And I will be out of breath if I keep talking. But this is so cute. I'm so proud it's my idea. The heart was my idea. I'm like so excited when something that I actually come up with makes it makes it through. So we have a thread pack and we have the PDF, but I'm going to go into detail about this next week. And then the long awaited Houses on Peppermint Lane, which is what this is. Sorry. The temperature chart has a DMC thread pack. Sorry. This is Houses on Peppermint Lane. So we are getting our thread this week. So I'm going to give all the information about this next week, and our floss, crossing our fingers, should be available before the live stream starts. So we'll have the patterns. I'm going to need to order more of those patterns before next week. So we'll talk about this next week. So we have gotten so many questions on this. So just tune in next week. Okay. So now we're going to talk about Jolly Housewives, and I'm going to take a little sip of my tea real quick. So throughout December, in collaboration with Priscilla and Chelsea of Stitching with the Housewives, I'm stitching Jolly Housewives patterns. And so I'm going to kind of show you what I did this week. If you follow us on social media, you will see what I do each day. So Facebook is FQS Cross Stitch, and then Instagram is FQS X Stitch. And one question we get a lot is how much can you get done in a day? So if you follow that, you'll see what I can get done each day. Just this one I had already shown last week, but just wanted to show it again. This was one of my days this week. These squares take about 8 to 10 hours, so they are a little bit much for one day. But now what I'm going to do that December's done, because I do stitch ahead, is I'll go ahead and do January before January, and then next January I'll show it to you. So this is one of my days. And that is Hands On Design Season 2, A Year of Celebration Continues. And this is the one, we recolored this So we have a thread pack that has all the color changes in it. Sleigh Rides is the exclusive pattern that Priscilla and Chelsea designed for us for Jolly Housewives for this year. And so one thing that I decided to do is I really am going to be busy this December because my son is now in basketball, some basketball league that's like 3 games every Sunday and 1 game every, anyway, I'm not going to be home much. So I went ahead and got a lot. When you see these pieces, you're going to see that I went ahead and did like 40% or 30% because I wanted to really have a dent in what I was able to do, so I'm actually able to finish. But on this one, so you can see I already did 40% because I already did the top part. But when I'm doing a color, I do like to finish that color. So doing the white, it just made sense to go ahead and do all of the white around it. And I'll show you how I traveled, just so you can see. So I travel a little bit more on this one than usual. But doing those 2 colors was great. And then Jordan zoomed in because I wanted to show you a change I made. So when I did the Smyrnas, I first do them differently. I do the plus sign first and the cross stitch second. That's technically the wrong way, but that's the way Cheryl does it and the way Cheryl showed me, and I like it that way. So on this, when you're stitching with Ada, to do this Smyrna, you have to go in this hole that's in between the stitches. So I did that on the big snowflakes. But the small ones, I didn't feel like going in a hole that was not really there. So what I did was I just made my Smyrna smaller for these. So mine came out a little bit smaller. And that's just a change. I actually made that change not even thinking about it. The deadline for signing up for Stackables Monthly, Kathy, is until it sells out. So we'll see how fast it sells, but we were only able to get enough, like Diane limits each club how many we can get. So this is Sleigh Ride, and this I'm going to do 3 more parts. So on this one, I'll probably go ahead and do either the left or the right side, one of the two. I'm not sure which. It'll kind of just depend what I feel like at the moment. Hot Cocoa is next week. December month to month. So you can see on this one, I got way ahead because the pattern, I don't have that much left. I just have a wreath, 2 true trees in the bottom. So I will probably, for part 2, go ahead and finish the top part. But what I did here is I went ahead and did the whole month of December because to me, getting that whole color done was fun. But also I was getting a little bit bored with the black, so I kind of was like, oh, let me throw in a tree. And then once I start a tree, I can't stop the tree. So that's kind of how I divided that one up. And this one, so I'm like probably 40% done. And then I also did the small, and then Denise was nice enough to FFO it for me. So this is done. So exciting. And then I did cheat and do January ahead of time, and I missed a bunch of stitches. So good thing she caught it before she framed it. Christmas Adorables is next week. Oh no, it's here, sorry. Sorry, I went out of order. So on the Christmas Adorables, I started at the top row. And I just love all the colors. And so I decided, I was actually at a basketball game and thought, okay, I'm going to go ahead. These are just straight across. So I went ahead and started the door. Now on this one, the one change I made is there were long stitches in black that go, I think from like here to here. and then here to here. So like 2 big black long stitches, and I didn't want to do them, and I thought it looked so good without them. So I did leave that out. There's 4 parts left on this. So obviously that could be like 1 Santa Claus, 1 Grandma Santa. What is she called? Santa. What's this lady? Mrs. Claus. Okay, so like Mrs. Claus, Santa, and then a door. I don't know. I'm really bad. And then whatever I get behind on, we'll be able to do. And then I have one other. Let's Go Ride a Bike. That's for this week. And then Rudolph typeface. So I did have an idea on this, guys. I think it's a great idea. So I think it would be so cute if you take this, stitch it, and turn it into just this. It looks good just like it is. Like that is like, I was looking at home deck stuff, and there's so many towels that have this on it in different fonts. So you could totally do this and make a pillow, or you could make a dish towel. I mean, obviously the dish towel would have to be like decorative and not really used, but I was like, oh my gosh, it looks so good just like it is. So that's just an idea. If you're looking for something just to frame to put up, that would be cute. It would also be cute on all the others. I mean, this one would look the best because it's obviously the reindeer, but I think that's a great idea. So on this, I am going to take a poll. So when I do part 2, the first thing I'll do is I'll fill in the black and the red, and then I'm going to outline the brown, and I will do half stitches all the way around. And then once I know it all meets up, I will finish the half stitch. Because if I make a mistake, I only have to pull out half of the stitches, not both of the stitches. Ask me how I know that. And then I will fill in all these colors. But my vote is, when I start filling in the brown, should I go from the top to the bottom or the bottom to the top? And this is going to be one of the projects. So Christopher has a game in Round Rock on Sunday, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock. And so I am that crazy mother who, in between games, I go sit in my car because I cannot handle the noise. The noise just puts me like over the edge. That squeaky, and I don't know, the games are just so aggressive. I just can't even, I don't even know what basketball has turned into, but when I was a kid, this is not how we play basketball. And my kid happens to be one of the aggressive ones. So I have a hard time watching it. So anyway, I'm going to use this as fill in this weekend for sure. So this one could get done earlier if, you know, sitting there, I have more time to fill in. So that is my Jolly Housewives. But you could consider this part of Jolly Housewives too. So when I went to Lori Holt's house, she had the idea of doing this pattern. Now we are sold out of the pattern. My Christmas List by Silver Creek Samplers. We'll have more. I think there's more arriving today. Okay, so Lori started this stitch along. She said it on her channel. She was like, oh, I think I'm going to start this if Kimberly will start it with me. And so I said, okay, I'll start it. So when I was at her house, I got 25 count oatmeal from her stash. I cut it 14 by 27. And did she send a photo for today? She did. Okay, so this is her photo of where she's at. And then Jordan will just flip between the two a couple times so you can see her fabric and mine. She is stitching on 36 count Milk Cola by Kitten Stitcher. It's one, so she's stitching one strand over one square, and I'm stitching 2 strands over 2 squares. So we're going to put together a thread pack in January, because I'm going to finish it and find out what we need to do it before we offer a thread pack. And in that thread pack, we will list the thread color changes. So like this week, she had changes here in the mug and the pie and the cookie. And also, and Denise is going to put a little photo right here. So in the pattern, let me see, you can't see it, but she left, the designer Diane left couple of spaces empty here and here. But when Lori did it, she filled in. So I just copied what she did. And then next week, I'll show you what we finish. So here's my, and I'm just copying whatever. So it makes it easy for me because whatever Lori does, she'll just text it to me and then I'll just stitch it. And then she'll text me and then I'll stitch. So I'm just kind of following along with her and super excited. We're going to finish it before Christmas. I am going to frame mine. I was kind of thinking, I'm not really sure what color frame to go with. Because I was like, well, would wood look good? I don't know. So I'm kind of like, if you guys want to give me some comments on frame, because I was like, would I do a wood frame? Would I do a white frame? Would I do a navy frame, a red frame? I don't know. Let's see, go top to bottom so you aren't laying on your stitches. Easier to see for me. Oh, when I'm outlining Rudolph. Okay, great. Okay, Pamela says, FQS, concerning Big City Christmas. Kimberly mentioned how the stitching with the Housewives, they talked about how they changed the order. I have my own order. How do I figure out the stitch count? So that was not Big City Christmas. So Big City Christmas is by Little House Country Cottage Needleworks. It is called City Christmas. So Big City Christmas is Country Cottage Needleworks. City Christmas, I will refer you to the Stitching with the Housewives video, not last Saturday, but the Saturday before, and go to them with any questions. I haven't stitched that one. The measurements of the cut fabric for Christmas list is 14 by 27. Let me see if I said that right. Ooh, I got it right, 14 by 27. And with the thread pack that we do, it will be like, you know, Lori Holt's My Christmas List thread pack, and we'll list everything that Lori did. So that's this one. And then I was going to talk about Lori Holt's planner. So I usually start planning a little bit earlier than I did this year. Usually I get this done by November, but this year I had so much that I was doing. I thought it was so funny. Yesterday somebody asked me, am I stitching less? I seem like I'm doing a lot less. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing so much more. So because I was doing so much, I just kind of got behind on doing my planner. So with my planner, I'm decorating with a couple of stickers. I got to fill this out later. Now, one thing, I'm just going to show you kind of what I do and how I use the planner in case these tips are good for you. So I save this monthly section until the beginning of that month, and then I'll write stuff in because my life changes a lot. Like sales reps, they come, they might change their flight. They might, you know, I don't want to have to change it to places. So I'll do this at the beginning of the month. And then what I do is I put my cross stitch list on the left because that's a Wednesday. I put my quilting on the right because that's a Friday. So anything that has a sticker, and these stickers are from Lori's. Do we have the stickers in here? This is from Lori has 2 sticker packs. So this is from one sticker pack. And then this one is from a different sticker pack. But when I'm done, I put a little sticker so that I can like feel good that I made a sticker. And then what I do is put on here what I need. So the Be Creative sticker book are these stickers, and they're the tiny ones. So I'll put what I need to have done for this Wednesday's live stream and what I need to have done for this Friday's live stream. As I stitch it or quilt it or piece it or whatever, I put a check mark. So you can see I've already done Barn Sweet Barn January. You saw it earlier in the chart, in the live stream. Same thing here. Stitching with the Season Spring. That one, I really didn't need to have it done until March, but I had it done early because Priscilla's going to finish that with me with Chelsea. Priscilla and Chelsea picked out a piece, so I need to have it done early. So they have that. Month to month, January, you just saw it. well, no, you didn't see it. That's something else. Month to month, January, the small I have finished, but not the large. And then you can see like I sew ahead for quilting too. So I kind of I use the planner mainly to keep my live streams in order. Now in here, I put my kids' birthdays only. And I just put a little sticker that's Emma's birthday. So I just put my kids' birthdays, and then that's what I start out with. And then, like I said with the sales reps, I'll put my sales rep appointments in here, and then I will also put my kids' activities. But I do those the month of, because my kids, everything changes too much. So I hate to like put it in and then take it out. So I am excited that I have it filled out. I need to add stickers. But you can see I have a ton of stuff planned for the year. And it took me about 2 days to get it all the way filled out. So yeah. And then my cross stitch journal, I always start here first. And I'll just put in everything here. And then I figure out, how do I want to spread that out over the year? So I just have to figure that out. And so and then these are the ones that are done. So that's kind of my goals for 2023. Super excited to finally have it done. It was kind of one of those things that I just like, I love to do. I love to write all this out. Like, I love to just sit there and write. I'm so crazy. Like, I love it. And so I was so excited when I got this done. And then for the votes, y'all voted to fill in from the top or the bottom. Y'all voted from the top. So that's awesome. I'll start from the top. And then, let's see, for this planner, oh yeah, this is Jolly Housewives. I need to put the stickers up here. Okay, so I'm going to answer some questions before I move to CHERYL'S items, new items. So start throwing your questions in. So for frames, there's a lot of good ideas. Silver aluminum, navy, bright. And then Denise says, Christmas list, you said 14 by 27. Does that include what size border, and are you stitching on 25 count? Okay, on Christmas list, I'm stitching on 25 count oatmeal. So the 14 by 27 gives me a 3-inch border all the way around on 25 count. If you need to know what that is for 14 count, we have an awesome cross stitch calculator on our website, and you can just type in the stitch count of that piece, which I said earlier, I think. No, I didn't. It's on the website. So just throw that in and that will help you. I love that Lori filled in the spots. Will you be having charts for the fill-ins? So it's only the little stocking, and when we do that thread pack, if you buy the thread pack, it will have a little tiny photo of just the little fill-in part. A red frame. And then Rita asked a question. I have a 26 by 35 inch piece of fabric. Is that big enough to do all 4 pieces of Stitching with the Housewives Quarterly Club? I don't know what stitch count it is. I don't know if you're doing 14 count or 25 count or 36 count, but I think that should work because on 14 count, those finish at approximately 5 by 7. So I think you should have enough. Will I be getting in the ornament tins as a regular item? Yes, and we're going to keep those year round. We have something planned for Valentine's Day with those. They actually have already shipped and are on their way to us. In fact, the sticky circles are now back in stock, both sizes, our sizes and Priscilla and Chelsea sizes. So grab those while you can. Everything is kind of selling out. Like after COVID, things slow down. So we slowed down our ordering, but then now they're picking back up. So we never try to be sold out of something. I try to order accurately, but we have to be very careful to not over order. So when we sell out, we're really sorry, but it's kind of part of doing business. Stitching with Nana said she loves my shirt. Where did I get it? Okay, so it says Holly Jolly. So last night, Emma is on drill team, and they had a parent mixer at a hotel by the school, and you had to wear an ugly sweater. And I was like, I can't buy an ugly sweater because I cannot justify spending money on an ugly sweater. So I just tried to find something that some people might think is ugly. So I found this and I was like, oh, it's cute. So I'm going to wear it on Christmas, and I'll probably wear it a couple more times. But I thought it was kind of a mix of like both sides, but that I would still fit in, because I was like, and Emma was like, you gotta follow the rules. Most parents dress like I did. Only the dads wore the ugly sweaters. The dads, I was like, oh my gosh. I was looking and I was like, if Kevin dressed like this, I'd be like, you cannot walk in this room. There were some really bad sweaters. Like, I was like, oh my gosh. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to show you Cheryl's stitching, and she has some to show next week also. So for this week, she worked on Prairie Schooler Thanksgiving Comes Again. And she stitched finished. So when she frames it, we'll show it again. So she stitched this piece on 32 count Lugana from her stash. And, you know, any neutral would be good. She used called for DMC floss, 2 strands over 2 squares. So just want to give you time to look at it, and then I'll show you the back. And then I'm going to show you flash sale for the entire month. So this month is Primrose Cottage Stitchers, so you will find these at 30% off for the month of December. Some are sold out, but we do have them on order. So this one is Snow Friends, White Christmas 2022, Hello Santa, and they have a lot of like Hello Santa, Hello Spring, Hello Fall, Hello Summer, that kind of thing. Hello Autumn. So if you are looking to buy any of their patterns, this month would be a good time to stock up. And then the flash sale cross stitch item for today is by Little House Needleworks. It is Anne Goodall $17.99 sampler, and so it's an English reproduction sampler from $17.99. So that is on there. Okay, this is a funny comment. Okay. This is a great story. So Nadine says you should have another daughter and call her Holly. Okay, that's my grandma coming through. My grandmother had 5 boys. She did not know what to do with girls. So when I was growing up, she just was like, I don't know. She used to get, me and her would argue because I have always been headstrong, and she thought I was, anyway, when later in life we got along great. But later in life, when I got her the like necklace, so like if you fell down, you push the button and they call. Well, during that process, I realized her password, and I can say this now because she's been gone a long time. Her password to everything was Holly. Holly. And I was like, why is everything Holly? So we went to dinner one night, and she said, well, you know, one day you can have a little girl and name it Holly, because I've always wanted to have, that's why my passwords, I always wanted to have a little girl and I was going to name her Holly. And my mom was like, her name would be Holly Jolly. That would be really weird. But that is like a true story. And my grandma was she was like dead serious trying to get me to name a kid Holly. And I'm sitting there going, I haven't even been married very long. I'm not like having kids. You know how people start when you get married? They're like, oh, you're going to have a kid? Are you going to have a kid? What are we going to name it? But anyway, that's a funny story. But she really did. Everything was Holly. Like her ADT, secure, everything. So my uncles were like, if anything happens, the password's just Holly. So yeah. Is the black supposed to be over the little house A and B? Can you be more specific? Because I don't remember. Oh, and then now that I'm doing throwback, I'm going to show you something from 1995. Since we're talking about my grandma. So I did my house decorating on Sunday, and I found this, and I made this when I was in college. So I think I made this I graduated high school in 1992. I graduated college in 1997, and I was thinking about what room I stitched in, because I lived in different rooms of my parents' house throughout college. It's a long story. I don't want to explain why. So I think this was 1995. And it's still, oh my God, it's so cute. But I'm looking at it going, why would I have stitched this? I don't even like music. Like, I don't like harps. I don't know. I have French horn. Why would I have picked this design? Anyway, it has a ton of back stitching also. So I guess in 1995, I was okay with back stitching. Look at all this back stitching. Anyway, I just found it and thought I would show. I don't hang it up anymore because I don't have one for my kids, and then, I don't know. I'd have to make 5 more. So that's kind of just a throwback that I found. Please show your project bag with the stitched band on the front. Oh, this is a hands-on design pattern. Love my stitching. We'll make sure we have the pattern in stock. I don't know if it's in stock right now, but I basically took a 14 count gray Aida from Witchell, and on our blog or on a previous live stream, I give all my colors and my changes and how I made the bag. Now my bag's not perfect because I didn't finish like the raw edges. You know, some bags have like really nice finishing here, and I don't know how to do that, so mine doesn't. On the flash sale, there's a black stain. Yes, because, let me show you why. It's not like that in the pattern. This is a picture of the actual reproduction that was made in 1799, so I'm sure it got stained in real life. But the pattern is not going to have that stain to stitch. Okay, so now we have a what's new section, and we almost dropped everything. We, meaning me. So the Chicken Club enamel needle minder came in stock, so that's super exciting. And that club is doing so good. So thank you to everyone who's willing to stitch chickens. But it's doing really great. And that club, just so you know, is pattern only. So that one won't sell out. The pattern will go online separately, but it will be 10 days after the club members get it. So the enamel needle minder came in stock. The sticky circles that I talked about, they're both back in stock. So let's see, which ones are, this is Priscilla and Chelsea's. They're a little bit bigger. And then these are the Fat Quarter Shop ones. These are used in the ornaments, and the tart tins will be back in stock soon. But these are back in stock finally. The needles we kind of talked about. And if these sell out, we've already ordered more. But I do want to see feedback. Like, do you love them? Do you not? But I would encourage you, just buy one pack. Because I fell in love with them. Denise fell in love with them. And Cheryl was like, oh, they're okay. Like, she didn't love them, but she stitches with size 28. So everybody's going to have a different opinion. And I do, on the live streams, I try to just tell you my honest opinion. I'm not trying to sell you anything. You don't need to buy them. I'm just showing you what has worked for me. Okay, so new patterns. Big City Christmas shipped to club members. It's now available to everyone. Cottage Garden Samplings has a new series called the Snowman Collector. There will be 12 of these. She has a sneak peek of number 2 on her Facebook if you want to follow that. But this is called the Needle Worker, and Denise said she might stitch it. And I was thinking maybe I'll stitch it, but I would have to totally change the colors. So I don't know what color I would, but I mean, maybe me and Denise can do some kind of stitch along together or something. Because I would totally do this. And let me see the blue from Stackables. So just thinking out loud, this, when you say how do you pick colors, this is how I do it in my mind. These colors is what I would stitch it in. The colors from Stackables. So maybe me and Denise will sit and try to figure something out. So I'm going to tell you a little funny story. The reason the table is shaking is Denise is running across the floor, and so it's not me shaking the table. But just so you know, like when I change colors, this is just how I just randomly like, oh, I think this that we did with this would look good, blah, blah, blah. And I would make mine more wintry and put this up in January. So I guess we'll have to commit to do that today. But we only have a few left in stock, but we have more on order. The tart tins only come in one size. Okay, so City Christmas was the series that Priscilla and Chelsea did for November. For December, they're going to be doing City Winter. And so this one will have 4 in the series. And I would love if you guys keep sharing in Kimberly Stitch Squad how you put these together, because a lot of people have done like individual, some people have done as a series. Oh, put it back so I can answer it. Sorry. So this one is going to kind of be the same thing. So you'll have to see what they do on their channel. So that's going to be City Winter. It's going to be the December series, and she's going to finish it on the same board. If you watch her video Saturday, she goes into detail. And then they started this today. They're going to do roundabouts. I think it's called like Farmhouse or something like that. But so it's going to be like, I'm sure, farm animals. So you can start that too. And these will fit those sticky circles. The little dots that have stickies on them, what are they called? Sticky circles. Sticky dots. Sticky circles, sticky dots. One of the two. Blackbird Designs came out with a brand new book. And I'm going to show you what I can without showing the... I'm going to try to show you some of the projects within the book without showing you the chart. So this is... I'm going to kind of go on and off screen so that I can do that. Because I know a lot of you love Blackbird, so I'm going to, spend some time on this. Crystal asked if floss clubs are late this month. They are not. So if you have a question, email Kathy, C-A-T-H-Y, at fatquartershop.com, and she can look into that for you. Okay. Just another photo of the same one. And that one has an alphabet. So the book has a lot in it. Lots of beautiful photos. The book is available now. If it sells out today, I'll reorder more. I never kind of know what you guys are going to like. So lately we have been selling out of things more than usual. I'm not sure if people are shopping for Christmas. There's a little squirrel. This one's called A Scottish Fling, and it's got the alphabet, and it shows you how, I guess you turn it into like a little bag, like a two-sided bag. And then this is kind of a summary of the other projects. Let's see. There's a Autumn Abundance little pin keep. I would be so scared to stitch that. There's detailed instructions on it though. And then Moonlit Garden. Oh, that's a cute house. To everything there is a season and a time and a purpose under heaven. Oh, I love that. That is cute. Let's stitch that. And then that is it. So that is Blackbird Designs When the Leaves Fall. 10 projects. Tiny Modernist. This is called Jolly Christmas Bell Pool. And I think this is hilarious. I couldn't figure out. I was like, I don't get it. And then Jordan had to say, Santa's stuck in the chimney. So good thing somebody explained it to me. Silver Creek Samplers has been teasing their new Christmas design, Sweet and Twisted. It just came in. And then we have a few new Pansy Patch quilts. So Betsy's Winter Basket, this is number 3 of 4. So there's the 2 previous that we have in stock. And then Pumpkin Lane series 4 and 3 are in stock. Now, on this, I am considering, or Denise and I are considering, doing a Pumpkin Lane series sew along. It will depend on if Peppermint Lane does well, if that makes sense. And we would, of course, recolor it also, if that makes sense. We have Hannah's Little Sampler from the Heart. The Scarlet House has 2 new Christmas designs. One is called Christmas Alphabet. And this one's really cute. Ho, ho, ho. That's really cute. I love the gingham there. Luminous Fiber Arts. This is number 7 in Mousecapades. And then the Blue Flower. We have Seasons of the Heart Winter and Holiday Card 2022. And then we have some new fabric that came in. These are, let's see, Fiber on a Whim, Brick 28 count. Now this is showing a little bit different. This is definitely burnt orange instead of orange. It's more of a rust color. Oh yeah, here. This is the color. That looks like Texas color. This is Persimmon. That looks accurate. 18 count. And you'll see these are all different counts, all different colors. And the reason why is these were customer requests. Cream and Sugar half yard cut of 16 count. This was a customer request. This Cream and Sugar is one of the best selling Fiber on a Whim colors we have. And then this one right here is Natural 16 count Rustico Ada. It's a huge piece, 36 by 51, and this was a customer request. And it is similar to the fabric used on Merry Little Christmas. It's a different vendor and it's a little bit stiffer, but it's got that really pretty look. The Luminous Fiber Art is in black and white, not in color. Okay, so we are getting a lot of questions about Big City Christmas by Country Cottage Needleworks. We did a live stream on October 19th that we go into full detail about fabric, stitch count, thread, everything. So we're going to refer you to October 19th because I don't want to give you the wrong information. We have, I'm sure you guys can tell, but we have like a teleprompter that gives me all the information, and I don't have like the best memory, so I don't want to give you the wrong information. So for the accurate information, go to October 19th. And then make sure you tune in next week, because next week we are going to be doing the temperature chart information. And so any questions you guys have on that, be ready to ask. And then also we're going to be doing the Houses on Peppermint Lane. And on Houses on Peppermint Lane, before you watch next week, I would encourage you to go back to February when we did the trunk show with Pansy Patch Quilts and look at it and look at her piece because she did it as a full piece. And then when you come, you'll see mine stitched individually. And then that way you'll be really up to date on what hers look like. And then you can look at what I'm doing and then decide which one you want to do. So for today, we're going to do a giveaway. 3 winners are going to win 3 fabrics. And we thought it would be great to give away different colors, different styles, and different counts, so that if you're a beginner, especially if you're a beginner, you can see what you like stitching on and kind of get the hang of it. So this is 14 count curved tile by Fabric Flair. This one is 25 count blackboard by Lori Holt. And this is 10 count heritage by Lori Holt. So to enter, you're going to comment after the video is over, and you're going to guess how many cross stitch patterns, there's a specific number, am I considering done in 2022? Because you have to consider, I do cheat like a little, I have a little bit more done than this, but for the ones I'm going to count, we have a specific number, and whoever guesses it right, if there's 3 that guess right, y'all will win, but whoever's closest, I guess. And so you're going to drop your comment how many I've completed, and you'll win 3 of these. And you have until Tuesday, December 11th at midnight. And then the way to find the winner is you go to the community tab on Wednesday, December 12th, and Ashley will have the winners there. So, oh, that's a great idea. Peach says you need a girl pug named Holly Jolly. Oh my gosh. That is a great idea. I might have to do that. My next dog is going to be Holly Jolly, because Emma actually, anything that says Holly Jolly, she will buy. Like her little keychain says Holly Jolly. But when I showed her, she was with me yesterday when I bought this shirt, and she was like, Mom. And I was like, it's so cute. I'll buy it, and then you can wear it after. And she was like, Mom. Anyway, we'll end with that. But yes, I'll do that. My next dog will be girl, and I'll name her Holly Jolly. And that's what I have today. So I will see you guys next Wednesday. Have a great week.